Okay, so today and tomorrow we're going to be looking at angles in standard position, which you have done some in grade 11, and we're going to build on that in grade 12. We're going to talk about coterminal angles, which is kind of what that construct understanding was leading us into. Thanks, Seamus. And we're going to introduce you to reciprocal trig functions, which you haven't looked at before. Okay, so that part is new. So let me pull the screen down. Let's start by talking about coterminal angles. So what we mean by coterminal, co just means share, and terminal means that they share the same terminal arm. Okay? So we'll review the terminology from last year as far as when we talk about angles in standard position. When we talk about angles in standard position, the vertex is at the origin. The vertex is at the origin of a four-quadrant plane. The initial arm is always the positive x-axis, and then we are going to move either counterclockwise, that's in the positive direction, or we're going to move clockwise, that's the negative direction. So here we have an angle of a positive 100 degrees, so we've moved clockwise into the second quadrant, and that ray that denotes the end where the 100 degrees is the terminal arm, terminal meaning end, like the terminal in a airplane, or in the terminal in an airport is where your is where your is where your life ends. The terminal in an airport is where your trip ends or starts, okay, depending. Okay? Now, if we want three angles that are coterminal with 100 degrees, we want angles that share that same terminal arm. So they're always going to start on the positive x-axis. Can anyone tell me, a guess, another angle that ends right there? You've got 100 degrees is one, and so I need another angle that would end there as well. 460, and how did you get that? Correct. So if we get to here and we go another 360, we're at 460, so that angle is coterminal with 100 degrees. Okay? If they're coterminal, it means that they have the same sine, the same cosine, the same tangent ratio, because they have the same terminal arm in the same quadrant. Can anyone tell me another angle that is coterminal? In fact, I'm going to give you a moment to think about some angles that are coterminal. So we can have negative 260, which means that we've gone backwards from the terminal, or from the initial arm. Back this way is negative 260. And then any of these angles here, if I just keep adding 360s to them, I'm going to get more and more numbers. So if I add 360 to that, what did I get, Seamus? 820. Okay? In other words, if you take that 100 degrees, and we're going to add 360 degrees times n, where n is any integer. So in other words, n can be positive or negative. So we're going to either add 360s in multiples, or we're going to subtract 360s in multiples if n is a negative integer. That's going to give us all the coterminal angles with 100 degrees. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So that's coterminal angles. Now, when we talk about angles in standard position, how are we doing for time? Oh, that's it, isn't it? We're going to run out of time because it's Monday, so the bell's going to go. Okay. We're going to continue with this tomorrow, okay? So you can have a look ahead if you like, but we'll do the bulk of it tomorrow.